This isn't good conversation. we can cut this.
No, it's not.
Okay, folks. If you know what patina is, comment below.
That's gotta go. That's actually not patina. It's too much.
Honestly, fuck, that's good. Do we feel good about that closing, or?
The closing you just did? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I completely agree.
It was totally weird.
Welcome back to a honestly monumental episode, our 20th episode.
This is big. This is huge, folks.
Congrats. And I don't want
And
to
our
alarm.
last.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to alarm anyone.
We're done.
But enjoy. You're gonna want to enjoy this episode. You're gonna want to soak it in. No, we're not going anywhere. We are gonna take a summer break, and we're doing that in allyship with like the teachers and students, just in solidarity. So that's kind of why we're doing that.
Makes sense. Yep.
Do you have gossip?
I don't have local gossip.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say it.
No, don't apologize, because I have medical gossip.
Oh.
Yeah.
The least sexy of all the gossip.
Hold on to your hats, but I have fibroadenoma.
The fuck is that?
I'm glad you said that, because I just decided today, I was like, I'm going to start saying it. Like, I'm going to start being like, sorry, I can't. It's my fibroadenoma.
Oh.
I'm going to start using it like at work and be like, guys, my fibroadenoma is just like flaring up.
Okay.
It's hard for me to remember how to say it, but I remember it by saying like, I don't know. So fibroadenoma.
That's
awesome, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for all the concern. I could just feel it flooding in through time and
We're all
space. Time
worried.
isn't linear.
We need answers.
So I can feel it. And I'm okay.
Oh my God. Get to the point. What
It
the
means absolutely nothing. It just means like you have like fibrous titties.
Okay. Congrats.
I got the
on
results
big
back
news.
from my ultrasound, and yeah, so just that's something I plan on saying tons and tons and tons.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to it.
So, I like the name.
If anybody else has fibroadenoma, comment below.
I'm sure tons of people do.
Okay, I want to jump to a quick piece of. I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling about Noah Cyrus and Frankie Jonas right now?
I don't know anything about this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just recently found out that they voiced an anime together. Like, I want to say they've voiced like a Studio Ghibli. Is it Ghibli or Ghibli? What do you say? Because I go back and forth depending on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, I think I do the same thing. Studio Ghibli is probably my...
I want to say they voiced like Ponyo together or something like that.
No way.
Noah Cyrus, I swear. Yeah, Noah and Frankie.
Is Noah as young as Frankie? She seems older to me.
Noah is 26.
Okay, I guess Frankie
They're
is probably
the
about
same
that.
age, roughly. Yeah, he's 25.
Okay.
But they've been, they did a song together. So they came out, first of all,
Oh.
they started like doing a lot of, they're breadcrumbing a bunch of stuff. They were like, oh, like to get back together again, they got matching tattoos. And so everyone was like, oh my God, they're dating. Like, this is amazing. And then they like came out with a song together, and people have just been so like, it's honestly quite controversial. People have been
It's giving
like,
boy-girl friendship.
people have been like, oh, this is like embarrassing. Like, they're just so desperate for attention. And other people have been like, okay, this is great, but like, how are we not getting a Nick and Miley clap? Which I totally understand. I'm just excited. I'm just thrilled for them. I love
see
it. And I
what's
think
in
they're so
store.
sweet together, and they're so much fun.
I actually think, I don't know anything about that, but I think that breadcrumbing as a couple is fabulous.
Yeah, it's definitely the new hottest thing.
Yeah, I'm like, go for it, you know?
And I would actually argue to anyone this summer to like try it. It's like if you're just like posting with like a random person that nobody knows
Yeah.
about or nobody cares, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if there's like someone in your life that
Yeah.
it like could be a thing,
Yeah.
and it's not, to just have some fun with it, I think would be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's good, clean fun.
Okay, I actually want to do like a very quick rapid fire yes or no, like how and like love or hate.
Okay.
Okay, and there is no neutrality. You can't. You
I thought
can't
you were going
be
to say
neutral.
there's no wrong answers. And I was like,
There
that's so
is.
nice.
Okay, and it's like kind of controversial characters. How do you feel about them? Love or hate? Joe Jonas.
This is tough.
There is no middle. You have to pick a side. I don't think you love him or hate him.
Okay.
Okay, you know, I'm just gonna say yes or no. You can call it yes or no. So it's not love or hate. Yes
okay.
or no. Joe
No.
Jonas. Wow. Young Gravy.
I don't think I have much of a connection with Young Gravy.
I didn't think you had a particularly deep connection. I just, yes or no.
We have a really strong connection. It's a no for me.
Taylor Frankie Paul.
It's a no.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yes.
Jojo Siwa.
No.
Oh my God. Okay, so on the note of Jojo Siwa, I'm really afraid that like this is the end of Jojo Siwa. Obviously, you know, I'm a big fan. I'm always rooting for her. She has the like Jojo Siwa cruise happening, which honestly I'm kicking myself for not going.
A cruise?
Yeah, and apparently it's like awesome and like so much fun.
I
And
bet it is.
She's spending
Why
so much
wouldn't it
time with
be?
everyone, and like everyone's having such a good time.
I bet it's fabulous.
She popped up on my TikTok the other day, and her TikTok name is Joelle Siwa. And I was like, oh my, I'm like, obviously I will support whatever she does.
Of course.
I am thrilled. I'm so happy for her to just like grow up and evolve and change and decide who she wants to be. And I will always support her. But I was just like, oh, this might be the end of like.
That's really interesting. Speaking of evolution, I saw this is maybe TikTok gossip. You probably don't know this because you're not in the tarot reading TikTok community.
Absolutely not.
You're not on Tarot Talk. But this one girl, her TikTok name was Alex Reads Tarot. And she was big. Like, she had almost 1 million followers. She did these, like, regular readings that always came across my desk. And I quite enjoyed her. She did these regular readings that often really spoke to me, you know? And I just connected with. Good energy, good vibes. I saw a video of hers recently, and she started by saying like, it was like in the form of an apology almost. Like she was like, okay guys, like there's this big thing we have to talk about, and I know it's gonna be hard for a lot of you, but like this will be my last video. I'm not posting anymore. I'm going to delete this account after this video, and I will not be back to TikTok. Wow. My faith has become very important to me, and I've been convicted that like tarot is not for me. And people were like, another one bites the dust. And she was just like, people are like, this is tragic. Like we're seeing this, we're actually kind of seeing this trend a little bit. Yeah. With people like, and she's kind of like a bit on the younger side, and people are like, what is going on? And like, this is so sad. Like, you know, they're like, it's, if it's all sort of truth. And if you believe in this like higher power or whatever, then, you know, tarot is not like evil or bad or dark or whatever. And she was just like, this is how like people are allowed to change and people are allowed to evolve. And like, this is just how I've evolved, which I think is so like funny, because it's kind of reminds me of this Jojo Siwa thing where it's like people know you as one thing and feel like not just that you're changing, but that you're changing into something that is sort of naturally thought of as like a lesser version of what you represented to them before. So you're like identify as a lesbian, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm with a man, and people are like, this not only feels different, it feels worse. And like not fair almost. And I feel like it's similar with this like tarot reader. Everyone's like, okay, so you're a Christian now, and like that means you can't do tarot. Like, and she's like, I understand that I'm disappointing you. And on the one hand, watching it, I was like, live your life. Like, it's your life. I was definitely like weirded out by it, but I was like, yeah, you should be allowed to evolve and do whatever you want with your own life. But it's still kind of like...
You said she was young?
Weird vibes.
Yeah, that is totally
weird
vibes.
I feel like she's like 25 maybe.
Oh, okay. So
27. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely weird vibes to be like, I can't do tarot anymore because like of my faith. But on the other hand, I do feel strongly of like, especially when these people are so young, like people are so hard on them. Yeah. And I just couldn't believe like
how old
with
is JoJo?
She's super young.
Joelle, excuse me.
Yes, so true. Well, okay, it's not that she's asked officially, please call me Joelle. And once she does, believe me, I will be the first one to change course. But she is 23. Like, she
Oh.
is so young. And people were
quite young.
so hard on her for, like, this relationship. And I'm just like,
I mean, I
degree
definitely
to
get
which-
having an opinion about it.
I
definitely
completely get having an opinion
being
on
like,
it or having
yikes.
feelings about it. But people were so hard on her.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, the degree to which they felt like she needed to be accountable for something, I just thought was crazy. I was like, this person owes you nothing. Like, this is crazy. Like, they're just growing up. Like, like, leave them alone.
Yeah.
So anyway, we love you, JoJo.
We'll always.
Well, I guess you
JoJo.
don't. You were no.
Yeah.
That's like crazy. And all I
I'm
have to
good
say
off
about
JoJo.
that is karma's a bitch.
So it's coming for me, I
if you
guess.
don't like JoJo. Okay, I have my last piece of sort of international gossip, and then I would like to talk about bills.
Bills?
Yeah, bills.
Like paying bills?
Last piece
That's
of
what you
gossip
can come up with?
is, did you know that Tyra is suing Netflix?
Yes, I did see that.
So in your experience, in all your experience as a defamation lawyer, do you think
For
she
legal
has
purposes, that's a joke.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That is a joke. Do you think that she has... And here's the thing. I love defamation. Defamation is awesome. And defamation truly is like the love child of law and PR. Like, it's all about reputation management and like taking this legal defense to protect your reputation. I think defamation is awesome. I think it's kind of hilarious. Like, I always find defamation suits kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of ultimately someone being like, nuh-uh. Like, it's just kind of really funny.
Yeah.
So first
and it
of all,
feels a bit... it does feel a bit like, oh, you had to bring out the big guns, huh?
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah, it's like, yeah. But do you think she has a case?
Like,
Not in your professional opinion.
Yeah,
just-
clearly not my professional opinion. I don't remember enough about like the details of the documentary, but I'm a bit confused. Like, I'd love to see what's in that.
So
claim
remember,
because,
yeah.
because it just feels like I could understand maybe suing for something else with a documentary, but defamation feels a little bit.
I mean, what else could you sue for in a documentary like that?
I don't know, like based on the contract, maybe there's like some misrepresentation in there. Like, I don't know, maybe. But to sue Netflix for defamation, like, feels like, okay, who said what? Like, what exactly are you pinpointing here?
Yeah.
Who said what? And who said something that wasn't true?
Well, yeah.
And who, like, you know what I mean? It just feels like a high bar. When people talk about defamation, I'm always like, that's a tough one to be successful in my opinion.
Yeah. It's funny because obviously, like, she's in the doc. And so agreeing to be in a documentary like that, I'm sure she imagined, like, it would be portrayed. She would be portrayed a certain way, and the storytelling would be... would take like a bit of a different turn. I'm sure she imagined it was going to be critical of America's Next Top Model and her.
Yeah.
Very curious to know if there is any sort of legitimate claim around just like the story edit of it all. You know?
I should have read more into it. I would have loved to like actually read it and know like what actual angle are they taking with this, because with having zero sort of context, I'm like, that doesn't sound strong. It doesn't sound like a strong argument, but who knows? Maybe there is something. It does feel a little bit, honestly, as far as reputation goes, and I'm curious what you think about this, I feel like it's not the right move.
It's not the right
because,
move.
First of all, you've done this documentary. Everyone's kind of looking at you sideways, but a lot of people are being like, listen... like, don't come for Tyra. Like, I've seen a lot of in defense of Tyra. Yeah. Okay, you didn't like how you came off, but now you're going to go through this legal process, which, first of all, shows your ass. Like, it shows that you're like, hey, I didn't know that that's what you were doing. That in itself is embarrassing. Like, I'm like, oh, girl, they got you, huh?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good look. And then part two of that is like, you're doing all this fighting for what? That makes you look guilty.
100%.
Like, if you were just like, okay, like...
Yeah, and nobody's gonna actually believe that anything anyone said in the doc was untrue, even if there were a couple things that minutia, like detail, it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
And so she's just gonna look even more unwilling to take accountability. And I
Yeah.
just think spend more time and effort on the road ahead. Do not try to go back. Like that damage truthfully is done.
Yeah.
And if you just went cold for a little bit and then came out with some interesting exclusive interview,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
that'd be
that
the way to
feels
do
like
it
it'll
here.
be way more successful than this. And to me, like, when I think about where a defamation suit kind of makes sense is where you have somebody who, like, really has something to lose business wise, or really doesn't have like a lot of other alternatives business wise, and they're actually being compensated in a way that like makes their life better, in a way that's like, I lost this because of something you did. I had to close my business. I had to whatever because
Right.
of something that
Right.
was said. And now I have money back for that.
Yes.
And now I have like options to start a new business or whatever the
Yes.
case may be, versus someone who like my theory on why she's doing this would be for reputation.
exactly.
And I'm like, this is really not the
Yes.
right move, because I don't think she needs the money. I don't think she's doing this because she's like, look how much I'm going to lose or would have lost. I mean, she'll make that argument because you have to with defamation, but I don't think it's really about the loss. And so if you're really just doing this for your reputation, I'm like, I think this is making you worse off.
100%. I completely agree. I think winning a defamation suit will not improve your reputation. It will simply, reimburse you for the financial loss of the ruining of the reputation that happened.
Right.
But even if you can prove that like that wasn't true or whatever, like whatever, you will get dirtier in the process of the suit, and you will end up looking worse in the process of the defamation suit. It will never,
Especially because people don't understand the
and
ins
they
and
don't
outs of the
care.
case, and they don't
They already
care.
heard
So
it.
you might be fair in you might have some like a real valid claim, but people don't care about that.
100%.
So that's going to be the piece that you're going to lose.
Have you ever been defamed?
I think I'm constantly defamed.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Don't you think
What
you are?
happened last time you were defamed?
The last time I was defamed, I can't say it resulted in any financial loss, but maybe I lost friends. I lost respect.
Can you name names of who defamed you? Or would
No,
that be
no,
defamation?
that would be defamation, and I would be sued
I
immediately.
once almost sued someone for defamation.
That's hilarious.
I'm not even
No, you
joking. They were
didn't.
running. I know. They were running around town and like actually defaming me. I'm not even kidding you.
Wait, are you talking about who I think you're talking about?
Yeah, probably. They were literally like sending texts, like very specific texts, like with full lies about me to very important people in the city, like people with tons of influence in the city. It was like crazy, and being like, oh yeah, Tomi, like, I mean, they weren't blatant lies, but they were absurd
Partial
retellings.
truths.
And honestly, the only reason I didn't go through that lawsuit was because this person had such a terrible reputation, that nobody, like obviously nobody believed her. Those people came straight to me.
So they trusted you
which is a
more.
testament to my reputation, which I would protect with my life, including with a defamation suit.
I just have to tell you that in order to be successful with a defamation suit, you have to have incurred a loss, and that's tough
did.
stuff to prove.
I did incur a loss.
And what was that loss that you incurred?
I had some hurt feelings, confidence.
Well, that emotional distress, and
Exactly.
that's part of it, but you need more. Speaking of which, what do you think from a like branding and PR perspective about the whole Patagonia situation?
Wait, what's the Patagonia situation?
Oh my gosh, we should have talked about this before, actually, when it was really blowing up, but I guess it's still current. So have you heard of Pattie Gonia?
No.
Pattie Gonia is a drag queen that like is very environmentally conscious and like does a lot of, I think they do a lot of like education about nature and in nature, education through drag, like just a lot of really cool initiatives combining like the cause of environmentalism.
Right.
And Patagonia has recently sued them
Oh.
for. I don't want to misspeak because there's like pieces of it that I don't fully understand. But from what I understand, in the early days, Patagonia was like, this is not an issue. And like there was even a little bit of like nods back and forth maybe that were like, oh, this is cute or whatever. Like there was some implication that it was supported by Patagonia. And then at one point, I guess Pattie Gonia started trademarked their name because they made reference to like a drag queen who like had built their brand and their business and their name, and somebody else took it because it wasn't trademarked, and they like lost everything and had to like start over, and it was like a horrible nightmare. So they were like, I'm doing this now for that reason. They were selling merch, and I'm not sure if they were using the Patagonia logo, but I think they were doing like a play on that in some way.
Right.
And so Patagonia was like, we're suing you. I think they're actually suing them for $1. Okay. But they were like, we have to protect our trademark. And so a lot of people are being like, you have to protect your trademark or else it's a slippery slope. Like, you're going to be in trouble. They have to do this. And like, Pattie Gonia has been like, well, I have to do this. And like, has really kind of like put a call out to people to be like, you know, hello, like tell Patagonia to drop the suit. So a lot of people are commenting on Patagonia and being like, Patagonia, this is like fucked up. And it like kind of really blew up like at the beginning of June, and they're like during Pride Month, like this is really like tone deaf, because I do think they like initiated a further claim or something.
Gotcha.
Again, this should probably be fact checked, but the biggest thing is a lot of people being like, this is so fucked up. And then a lot of people being like, you guys don't understand what's going on. Like, you don't understand that this is a trademark issue. You don't understand the suit. Maybe you should actually read the documents because it's not what you think it is. But then Pattie Gonia being like, hello, this is insane. Like, this is such a, like, why? Like, it's not as if there's any kind of like confusion or whatever. All of that to say, I'm clearly very like fuzzy on the actual reality. So I have a hard time like really getting into the weeds of it. But from a branding perspective, what are your thoughts on it?
That's really interesting and really, really fascinating. And I think, I feel like we can talk about this without understanding, because to me, it's just like, it's a bit of this turf war in the sense of like, Patagonia has this brand, and then this other brand was created off of that brand. And like you said, there was some like, there was a bit of like allyship there. There was a bit of like, you're good, do your thing. I hate to say this, I totally get it from the Patagonia side. I totally get it, because at the end of the day, like, what's it?
Pattie Gonia.
Pattie Gonia. I was going to say Pattie Gonia, which would have been hilarious.
God.
Pattie Gonia only exists because Patagonia exists, of course, right?
Yeah.
So, like, at the end of the day, this brand is built off of that brand.
Yeah.
And it's great that they were able to, that they're, like, aligned. They were able to find some alignment so that, like, it wasn't a problem. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
But then once somebody tries to claim a piece of land on Patagonia's land, which is what Pattie Gonia is, I understand why they're like, oh, well, you can't own this. Like, you can be here, you can rent it, you can sublet it, but you can't own it. And like, and I feel like, again, I don't know a ton about how trademarks work, but I'm pretty sure Adidas owns, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I would guess that Adidas owns Adidas and similar like names, you know? So if like I tried to come out and trademark like Adidan or something like that and like play off it, I wouldn't be able to. Yeah. And so if I come in and I create an Adidan or something, and Adidas is like, fine, you do your thing, like, we're not coming for you in any way, then I'm like, that is a great symbiotic relationship, amazing, let's keep it going. And then if I kind of come back and I'm like, oh no, I want to claim ownership over this, I completely understand why they're gonna have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that perspective. It feels, I wish I knew more about trademark law, and I'm curious to understand it a little bit better. But from what I'm reading, people are saying that it's a very, it isn't, because people are kind of like, why are you protecting your name against Patagonia, as if Patagonia is any threat to Patagonia? And a lot of people are saying like that's not what this is about. It's
Right.
about protecting Patagonia from others, actually, and from and once it happens in one case, it's much more difficult to sort of ward
Protect
off,
against, right.
protect the name itself. So I do understand that point. They did say, like, when they had a statement in May, so it definitely wasn't June.
Okay.
It just, I can't remember what the dates were, but that this all kind of blew up. But they said, there's a lot going around about the lawsuit we filed in January to protect our trademarks, and we owe you an update. We wish this lawsuit had not been necessary, and we want to acknowledge any hurt it has caused, especially in the LGBTQ plus community. We don't want to argue trademark law on social media. Importantly, we continue to want to resolve this. As we have said to Pattie Gonia, we can do that if they withdraw all trademark applications, stop using our logo, stop selling and promoting apparel and other products as Pattie Gonia. If we can agree on this, we can work out everything, blah, 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 blah.
So they're using their logo.
Well, here's the thing. I don't actually know if that's true, which is,
Okay.
I think it's only fair that we read both
Yeah.
on here, because that was not my
The
understanding.
other thing I'll say is my understanding of a suing for $1 is like more of like a cease and desist. Essentially.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, says Patagonia just posted their offer to settle in quotations. When I told you that they were trying to erase my advocacy, their bullet number 3 is what I was talking about. This is the part that sat weird with me too. Like, stop selling any merch or anything under the name Patagonia. I'm like, that feels like a lot. Patagonia is not just talking about my upcycled t-shirt merch in that bullet point. They're talking about the partnerships, work with other brands that I've done for years to pay for the education, advocacy, and activism that me and my team do. If I can't do partnerships as Patagonia, it breaks the whole ecosystem of advocacy and community engagement. And they understand this because their work is built on the exact same model, advocacy work funded through commercial work. Bullet points 1 and 2, I've already said I would agree to. So not using the logo and removing the trademark. So that seems significant to me.
Yeah.
Bullet 3, absolutely not. And that to me seems really fair.
I think it's fair.
Like,
and
I'm
so
like,
now they're going back and forth.
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I don't think there's been any well, maybe there have been updates since, but doesn't seem like there's been like statements since. But yeah, to me, when I read that, I'm like, fair. That seems,
because I'm
really
like,
fair.
I'm like, no, the logo is a big no to me, but it sounds like they've already said, that's not an issue. And they understand the trademark thing and are backing off of that. So at this point, I'm like, there shouldn't be a problem.
There shouldn't be a problem. And then, okay, this is where, because I still haven't really heard you did answer this, but I'm curious about your thoughts, because even I agree, you're right about the trademark thing. But I do think, like, I agree. I don't understand enough about trademark law, but from what I know, it makes sense to me that it's kind of like a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Right? And that protecting your name becomes really important for that reason. The thing anytime I'm looking at a slippery slope argument, though, my antennas always go up, because I have sort of, based on my experience and like my gut, slippery slope arguments are usually pretty unrealistic, and they're usually based in fear. And they're we usually use them as an excuse for some sort of like, for not just acting from a more sort of human approach.
We're catastrophizing.
Yeah, it's catastrophizing, right? And it's usually very letter of the law versus spirit of the law, where it's like, sure, maybe in theory that weakens your name. But in practice, do you think it's actually going to? And reasonably, as like the lawyers of Patagonia, they're going to be like, we're not trying to take that risk. Fine, I understand that from a legal perspective, but I just think in reality, how big of a risk is it?
Yeah.
And this is where it gets to like the branding conversation, where I'm like, I look at Patagonia and I'm like, I see where you're coming from like a legal perspective, but from a branding perspective, this is a rough choice because now you got people pissed off.
Yeah, you've got people pissed off.
Whether they understand the details or not.
Yeah, you got people pissed off, and that's a challenge. Having said that, and again, I would need to see Patagonia's branding and all of their thing. But I'm like, if with the whole trademark thing, if that's all legal and if there's ownership there, it inks an association with the two that Patagonia may or may not have even consented to.
Sorry, what?
Like if Patagonia gets this trademark and everything like that, and it's all official. And again, I don't know what the branding looks like, how close it is, and all of that.
Right.
But if that all happens and it becomes official, it creates this bind between the two of them.
Yeah.
That is official.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That Patagonia may or may not have signed on to and consented to. And if this was another business partnership or a business deal where they were going to like collaborate and put their logos next to each other on a thing, they do that knowing that if we're collaborating with whatever brand and a year from now they have a scandal, that reflects on us.
Yeah.
You know? So that this idea of like, this is our house at the end of the day, and if you're playing in our backyard, we're not going to kick you out. But if you start to move a suitcase in, we're going to start to ask questions because that like makes our association with each other very official.
Yeah.
And we don't just let anyone into our house. We have to do all due diligence.
So what you're saying is like from a branding perspective, it's the lesser of two evils essentially to say, yeah, we're going to fight for this, even though it might have a negative branding impact because the risk of being sort of linked to another brand that we, without vetting anything and without vetting that partnership is greater than
and that's not ours in any way. Like we don't, this could be a runaway like we don't know your you know what I mean? Like this brand isn't ours. We have no control over it. We have and now it's official. It's not this grassroots movement. It's not this, you know what I mean? It's this, it has it.
Okay, but so like based on that, so name. Based on where it is now though, where Pattie Gonia said, I'll drop the trademark, whatever. Yeah, I think do you think from a branding perspective it's worth continuing?
I think that's the problem. To me, it's the trademark. It's the trademark thing and it's the logo thing. Yeah. To me, that's where the issue is. Yeah. And that's more of like a risk management sort of issue of like looking at down the line, what could happen, all of that. If those two things are out of the picture, I don't think there's any reason to be like, no, I think actually not that there's no reason. If those two things are out of the picture, at this point, I think pursuing this does way more harm than good.
Yeah, I think it does harm from like a brand perspective. And I think it's kind of, at this point, I'm like, now you're looking mean.
100%. And I love the like suing for $1. I think that's awesome. I think that like is such a great way for a big corporation to be like, no. Like we're not trying to hurt
we don't mean any harm.
We don't mean any harm. And to be like, but here are our concerns. Here's how we have to protect our business, all of that stuff. And then you walk away. The rest, that additional like, don't sell merch, don't do this, does feel like you're just layering numbers. It's too much. Yeah. It's absolutely too much. Yeah. It's not worth it.
Okay, glad I got your take on that.
No, that was actually really fascinating. Thank you. You wanted to say something about cheaper by the dozen?
Thank you for bringing me back to that. So I did have a marathon, Cheaper by the Dozen 1 and 2. And by marathon, I mean watched one of them one night and the second one another night with Luke. He'd never seen them. Marathon. It was so much fun. And I have to say something about Bonnie Hunt, who plays Kate Baker. The mom. I just think, I was like, that woman is a true picture of a woman, of a suburban mom. Like, I remember thinking this when I was younger and watching her. I was like, she lived up to I just remember being a kid and being like, now that's a woman. Hilarious. Like that, she's funny, she's charming, she lets things roll off her back. She's a great mom. She loves her kids. Wow. She'd do anything for them, but she's so chill. Like, she's like kind of a guy's girl. And I was just like, this girl rocks. Like, she's so fucking cool. If you stick around for the bloopers at Cheaper by the Dozen 1, she's cracking jokes that like, you can tell she hangs with the guys. Like, I was like, this woman is cool.
Cool. This one goes out to you, Kate Baker.
Yeah. Love you, girl.
Okay. I want to ask you a quick question, and not a quick question, actually. This is pretty important, and it has to do with my future. I feel like I've had this conversation like 6 times in the last year, and now I am facing it.
Okay.
This is when I said I wanted to talk about bills.
Okay, we're talking
When
about
you are dating a homeowner and you move in with them, you make the choice to move in with them. I want to talk about what bills look like because I keep having this conversation. I've had this conversation with so many people.
I've actually
And-
currently been mulling this through for myself.
Okay, so yeah, you might be in this position potentially in the near future or in the far
Look at
future.
distant future, medium future.
Mid, distant, far.
Anything, near, far,
could happen.
wherever
10
you are.
years from now. I also likely won't, but there is a chance that I'm in this position the other way. And it's funny, like I've thought about it from both ways because I'm a homeowner and I've thought about if someone were to like move into my home, what I would want from them, what I would expect.
Yeah.
But I also rent, and I could see myself being in a position where I move into my partner's home, which he owns. And and I've heard there's so many different theories on this. I've heard like really strong in both directions. Off the bat, what is your take? Are you splitting the bills 50-50? Are you doing it based on like relevant salary? Are you doing it based on like, are you factoring equity in all of that stuff? Like,
Right.
What is your take?
It's a great question. Thank you for asking. My belief to start is 50-50. I think 50-50 is what is fair. Now, I think it's also fair and appropriate to consider each other's budgets, right? Like, I don't think that if you're moving into a house with your partner and you're like, I cannot afford to pay 50% of this situation, like, I think that's fair. Like, that's your life circumstance. And I think it's up to you to have a conversation about like what will feel fair to both people.
But real quick, you would have that opinion if you were both renting a house together, right? Like,
Well, I think the difference is that the person who lives in the house that they own already lives there.
right, they're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere. They live there. They're already paying the bills. But it's also like if we're going to move in together and I'm the person who owns the house, we're probably going to move into the house I own. Unless you're, figuring out something and you're moving out together, fine. But it does make a lot of practical sense to just move into the house that is owned. And if that's the case, the person who doesn't own the house didn't really ask for that setupe. They didn't ask for that set of bills. They didn't ask
they
for
are compromising something in a way, in the sense that
or maybe it's not about compromise, but it's just like there's not a lot of choice there, right? It's just like this is what it is. They're kind of saddled with the situation. So they didn't say, hey, let's rent a place for a price that I can't afford. Right. They're like, this is the cost. This is all I can afford for rent. Right. If that's the case, I think that's fine. And I think you have a conversation to say, hey, this is how much I could afford for rent if I was going on my own or if we were going to find a new place to share. This is my cap. Yeah. I think that's really fair.
Everyone should play within that.
Yeah. That's where I sit.
Okay. So, no,
I want to know what you think.
No, I was just going to say, and then on top of that, because the conversation that continues to come up when I have this conversation is the equity portion of like, if this is a lot, like obviously if you're dating someone, it's your place, it is what it is.
Yeah.
If this is a long-term relationship or maybe like you're getting married or maybe you're like, oh yeah, we're life partners. What are your thoughts on the expectation of building equity?
That to me, that's none of your damn business if you're not the equity holder. Like I think I don't agree with the argument that the person who's building the equity should pay more. Because again, unless we're talking about somebody being like, I cannot afford this amount, then that's a different conversation. But if you're moving into someone's home and they own the home and they're getting the equity and you're not, I don't think that you should pay less because of that. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. You don't think they should pay less, and if let's say you had been with somebody for like 6 years.
Yeah.
You're like, you're life partners.
Yeah.
It's kind of a done deal for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
They're moving in, they're paying you half. And they're like, so I mean, I've been paying half the bills, we've been doing this. Can we talk about me like getting on the mortgage and becoming
And getting on title?
Yeah, and getting on title and becoming a co-owner of this home. Because I'm paying into the equity just as much as you are.
Like, it's not a conversation that I would say, like, no, we're not having this conversation. I would have the conversation, but my instinct is no. Like, what's mine is mine.
It's beautiful.
What's yours is yours. If you want equity, go buy your own house.
You heard it here first, folks. If you want equity, go buy your own house. This is a financial podcast.
Yeah.
No, that is so fair. Okay.
What do you think?
My first instinct is also 50-50. My thing is, I think it's very individual in terms of the equity conversation. If you are like, oh yeah, like, can we have that conversation? Sure. I want to understand upfront, like, if I'm moving into your home, I agree. I think whether you're getting equity is not really any of my business. And I don't think I am entitled to pay less just because this is your house. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm entitled to pay less. However, I would want to keep in mind things like, what are the expectation around maintenance costs? Like, if I am not an equity partner in this home, then I'm a tenant. So to me, I'm like, if I'm a tenant and something happens to the roof, it is none of my business.
I think that's so fair.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
if there's damage to this home,
Yeah.
I'm certainly
I'm not
not
contributing.
expecting. Yeah, I'm not contributing, and I'm not expecting my partner who lives with me to like foot the bill to like fix the roof.
Okay, yeah. And if like the oven breaks, like anything that you would expect your landlord to take care of, to me, I'm like, I am not responsible for
I
this
think
cost.
that's fair, like, to an extent, because at the end of the day, like, you know, that's your partner's home, so like, you're not gonna be like, sorry, figure it out. Like,
I'm not saying like
if you need
I
a new
will
microwave,
refuse.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure, and I'm not saying like I will refuse as much as just like I don't feel that person is responsible.
Yeah.
I think that ultimately it's that, like, are you a tenant?
Yeah.
Or are you like, is this your home kind of thing?
Yeah.
And then, the other piece that I think is important is like storage. Like, if it is your home and you've been there for a minute, like, you probably have, and depending on how large it is, you might have one or two like rooms or like a garage or like a space that is just, it's just stuff and it's like more or less unusable.
Yeah.
So I do think there should be some consideration to like, not like, do I have access to 50% of the house? Like, it doesn't have to be so nickel and dimey.
Right.
But like, if I am moving into, hypothetically, a 5-bedroom house, you know, and there's a couple bedrooms and I'm like, I'm not going to use that bedroom. And there's just like random stuff in there. And I'm paying 50%. I am kind of like, okay, this is worth considering. And worth talking about knocking $50 off.
Yeah, if I move into my partner's place, that's got to be 50% mine. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, these 3 rooms are all you, and I'll take one. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, quick question, though. What if you were moving into their place temporarily?
Oh, yeah, that's different.
So you don't think you should pay half?
Depends on the situation.
Because I might be in a situation where I'm moving in temporarily.
Like, temporarily.
Like a month or a couple months.
Oh, I just think that's different altogether. And I think, honestly, paying... Yeah, you're essentially a squatter. Like, a month.
You think I shouldn't have to pay it all?
No. I think whatever. Like, I think, work it out amongst yourselves. This is none of my business. But I just think, like, it's different. A month, 2 months is like, you're homeless. And you need a place to stay. You need a place to rest your head.
And I shouldn't have to pay.
Well,
I actually love
that's
this.
not what I said.
You wanted to sing a song before closing to say goodbye to to our listeners for the summer.
Yeah.
We hope you guys have an amazing.
Thank you for giving to the Lord. Do, do, do. I am a life that was changed. Was that Ray Boltz?
I think so.
Yeah, so Ray Boltz was a powerful gospel singer in, I want to say, the 80s, 90s. Really good stuff. He came out as gay, I think, in the early 2000s.
Happy Pride,
and
Ray.
he took, happy Pride. He took the evangelical Christian world by absolute storm. Everyone was up in arms. And I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but there were some people who were pretty close to me who had some really distasteful reactions. That's all I'll say. I'm not speaking more on the subject, but we love you, Ray.
Is that how you want to close for the summer?
No, please take it away.
No, I had nothing else. You mentioned wanting to close in song, and I had no idea you would choose "Thank You for Giving to the Lord."
I wanted to thank our listeners for giving to the Lord, because listening to us is giving to the Lord.
Amen.
Don't you think?
Okay, yeah, no, I completely agree. Well, thank you so much for listening, folks. Have an incredible summer.
We can't wait to see you back in the fall.
Keep in touch.
Yeah, please comment below. Don't stop commenting
Don't
below
go too
for
far.
the summer.
We'll try and keep you up to date on our summer plans, how we're surviving Stampede, all of those kinds of things. But if you don't hear from us,
just know we got something cooking for you in the fall.
Just know things are getting crazy. And we're going to come back with so much gossip. Okay, bye.
Bye now.